Ryan Parker was 24 years old and convinced that life was simply unfair. Every morning he promised himself he would start working toward his dreams, and every evening he wondered where the day had gone. His alarm rang at 6, but he pressed the snooze button again and again until nearly 8. He rushed through breakfast, spent another hour scrolling through social media, and arrived at work just in time to avoid being marked late. During lunch, he watched short videos. After work, he told himself he deserved to relax, so he spent hours watching television or playing games. Before going to bed, he always whispered the same sentence, "Tomorrow will be different." Tomorrow never came. One rainy afternoon, Ryan visited an old bookstore to escape the weather. While browsing dusty shelves, he noticed an elderly man sitting quietly near the window, repairing an antique pocket watch. The man smiled warmly and invited Ryan to sit. "You look troubled," the old man said. Ryan sighed. "I have big dreams, but I never seem to have enough time." The old man closed the watch carefully and asked, "How many hours did you have yesterday?" Ryan looked confused. 24. And today? 24. And tomorrow? If I'm fortunate, 24 again. The old man nodded. Interesting. Then why do some people achieve extraordinary things while others remain exactly where they started? Ryan had no answer. The old man handed him the old pocket watch. "This watch has stopped working, but it still teaches an important lesson. Every second that passes can never be recovered. Unlike this watch, your time never pauses. Whether you use it wisely or waste it, it continues moving." Those words stayed in Ryan's mind all evening. The next morning, instead of reaching for his phone, he took a notebook and wrote down everything he did throughout the day. By bedtime, he stared at the pages in disbelief. Nearly 6 hours had disappeared into activities that brought him no closer to his goals. Hours had vanished through endless scrolling, unnecessary television, and meaningless distractions. For the first time, Ryan realized he didn't have a lack of time. He had a lack of priorities. The following day, he made one small change. He woke up 30 minutes earlier and spent that time reading a book about personal development. At first, it felt difficult. His bed seemed more comfortable than ever, and his phone tempted him every few minutes. But after a week, those 30 minutes became a habit. Soon he added another habit. Instead of watching television immediately after work, he spent 1 hour learning graphic design, a skill he had always wanted to master. His progress was slow. Some days he felt like quitting. Some lessons were confusing, and some designs looked terrible. Yet every evening he remembered the old man's words, "Time never pauses." So he kept going. Months passed. One afternoon, Ryan's manager announced that the company needed someone to design promotional materials for an upcoming campaign. Nobody volunteered because it required skills beyond their normal duties. Ryan hesitated. Then he raised his hand. His first designs were far from perfect, but they were good enough to impress the manager. More importantly, they showed willingness to learn. A few weeks later, Ryan received his first promotion. His salary increased, but something else had changed too. He no longer complained about having no time. Instead, he carefully planned every day. He created a simple routine. The most important tasks always came first. Exercise in the morning, learning after work, family during dinner, relaxation only after completing meaningful work. Friends noticed the difference. One evening, his childhood friend Daniel asked, "What's your secret? You seem happier than ever." Ryan smiled. "I stopped asking where the time went, and I started telling my time where to go." Daniel laughed, but Ryan was serious. He explained that every choice was like planting a seed. 10 minutes spent learning something useful could grow into opportunities years later. 10 minutes wasted every day might not seem important, but over a year they became more than 60 hours, enough time to finish several books, develop a valuable skill, or even start a small business. Daniel became thoughtful. A year later, Ryan had completed advanced design courses, built a portfolio, and started freelancing during weekends. What began as a hobby gradually turned into a successful business. Eventually, he earned more from freelancing than from his regular job. With confidence, he resigned and focused entirely on his own company. The journey wasn't easy. There were sleepless nights, difficult clients, and moments when failure seemed unavoidable. But Ryan had learned the greatest lesson of all. Success was never created overnight. It was built minute by minute, day by day, through consistent action. Several years later, Ryan was invited to speak at a local college. Standing before hundreds of students, he held up an old pocket watch, the very one the elderly bookseller had given him before passing away. This watch no longer tells the correct time, Ryan began, but it reminds me of something far more valuable. The room became completely silent. When I was your age, I believed successful people were simply luckier than I was. I thought they had better opportunities, more money, or more talent. I was wrong. He paused and looked around the auditorium. The greatest difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is often how they choose to spend their hours. He continued, imagine someone gives you $86,400 every morning. You can spend it however you like, but whatever remains at the end of the day disappears forever. Would you waste it? Everyone shook their heads. Ryan smiled. That's exactly what time is. Every day, life gives you 86,400 seconds. You cannot save them for tomorrow. You cannot earn them back. The only question is how you will invest them. Many students wrote down those words. Ryan finished his speech with a simple challenge. For the next 7 days, keep track of every hour. Don't judge yourself. Just observe. Then ask one question. Did this hour move me closer to the life I want? If the answer is no, change the next hour. Small improvements repeated every day create extraordinary lives. The audience stood and applauded. As Ryan walked off the stage, he looked once more at the old pocket watch. It still wasn't working, but it had already fulfilled its greatest purpose. It had taught one young man that time is life itself. Money can be lost and earned again. Opportunities may disappear in return. Even mistakes can become valuable lessons. But every passing second is a page of your life that can never be rewritten. If you truly want to change your future, don't wait for the perfect day, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect moment. Start with the next minute. Use it wisely, because the future you dream about is created by the choices you make today. Every second matters. Every hour counts. And the greatest investment you will ever make is not in money, but in the precious time you have been given.